Hola, estamos en un nuevo programa de
Hello. We are in an additional program regarding the world, and we're going to be discussing the women's leadership in the world, in women's leadership in the new world after Corona. We would like to thank Dr. Leitman for joining us. And Dr. Rav Leitman, I would be happy to join you all the time. Nora, okay, first question. What, in your opinion, it will be the main thing that we'll see from women who are in leadership positions, especially now that we're coming out of the first blow of the coronavirus? We will see more and more phenomena of the way that we are changing. We used to sit at home, men, women, children, and we felt that home is like as a place of the way that women would make a feeling of home. After a few weeks, months that we were locked down in homes, we were really able to absorb and come out with an impression of what it means to have the quality of a woman. And we need to be a lot closer to that quality of women. And if more men today would understand how much they need to be obedient and listen to women and have at home whatever the women decide, then we will feel it. We will feel it in what's happening now in this new world. The world's going to change a bit now. At home, in the way people make purchases, in the different businesses, everything's going to change, that's for sure. And it'll all change because of the qualities of women who were determining more what was going on. Norma, this nature of women is really more bold, more viewable of what's going on at home. Rav, yes, of course. It's like you have another child at home with a man. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who I am. I don't know what's going on at all. And it all depends on the woman. So when I come out of these few months from under the leadership of the women, then I want to continue it. Whether I want it or not, I want to. And we need to use it correctly, that the whole world will have this nature, this quality. We saw how the coronavirus really shut down all of the wars, how it shut down all of this bullying. And why shouldn't we continue it? It did many good things. We don't want to go back to these destructive industries that are corrupting and dirtying our atmosphere and our whole world. There's many things that we can do after this first blow of the coronavirus. And there's many things we can improve, especially in regards to leadership of women. Norma, if this pandemic really emphasized the leadership of women, women's leadership in what's going on at home, in all these different businesses, how will it change? Will it change in some way? Will we change our perspective on the whole society's view of women in general? Will there be more importance on women? Rav, our problem is that women themselves surrender. They don't want to take on the leadership. They don't want to do the change. And that's the problem. Like at home, the woman determines. She decides. And there's no problem at home. The man surrenders there. He knows the moment that he gets home, the woman is in charge. When he goes outside, he can be the man. That's the way we need to determine it for our whole society. It all depends on the role of the woman, how she's able to take it upon herself to be in charge. I don't know. Maybe we need to expect some strong man to take all of the women under his wing and will build this society that will be led by women. He will be there just to give them this room to lead, and it'll be done in that way. Thank you. We have a question exactly on this, and asking that the relations between men and women, we don't want to return to what it was like before the coronavirus. What will be the correct work between these two different parts of society, between the men and the women? First of all, we need to discuss this nationally, even internationally, what we need to bring back and what not. These businesses that were really harmful to the environment, we need to close them. And we need to think how we can compensate the different people who were working in this and were had an income from this. We also need to think, all of us together, how we can depict this good world. What is a good world where we don't have the coronavirus, where we don't have all these wars and pandemics, and it's all possible in our time, in our ability to do it today, now. If we bring women into this, then we will surely be able to have this really great goal and to make it possible where we have all these different businesses where in the past we would all fight amongst ourselves, just competing unhealthily. Norma, when you say that it's important that we have this man figure that will lead, that really needs to lead the feminine part, why can't women do it on their own? Why do they need to be dependent on a man? It's a big problem. It depends because of our nature. Then a woman, even though she's a woman, she still gives birth to a man. She raises a man and guides him along life. A mother. A man can't do it. He's a man. He has one force, and that's what he does. Like he would be in all sorts of different things that he would do at home with his friends, the same way he does in all of these other ways. He just wants to control. It's the same game like he had while he was a child, when he was a small child. And he continues it throughout his life. He looks at them, how they're in these different, you can see how it's happening in different places of worship. It can be in a synagogue or in governments, in all these different parliaments and congresses. It'll be the same game like he had as a child. He would run with other children, and they would have these different war games, and they continue it. That's why a woman needs to rise up and say, that's enough. There's no more of that. You played enough, and that's it. And now you've grown up, and you take it seriously. And I'm sure that now men will take it seriously. They will listen, because it's in the nature of that child to listen to the mother. She gave birth to him, she nurtured him, she raised him, and she can control him. She can control him. We see it at home. We see it at home. And at home, the woman determines everything. She says that I need that, I need that, I need this, and the man does it. That's it. That's the way it needs to be. That's the way it needs to be in our general home. And it depends on the women, if the women will assemble, unite. But the problem is that women have a hard time assembling and uniting. For men, it's easy, it's like a game. But for women, it's serious. And they can't forfeit their individuality, what they personally want. The connection needs to come from this annulment of the individuality. She needs to come out of the home and build this bigger home that's outside of her personal home. And she can't do it so easily. A man does it, he's happy to play all sorts of different things and build all these different things. And that's why we need to add a great force of women. They'll be able to be equal to the force of men. And this will obligate the women to come out of the home and involve themselves in this public work. Norma, sorry for using these very pop terms. Well, what comes here? The egg or the chicken? How do we need to have this dynamic that you just described? This dynamic starts when men and women understand that we can't go back to life as it was before. We need to build a new life. Our life, our world that we had before was on a path of ruin. The coronavirus came to show us that we were on that path of ruin. That's why we need to build a completely new world where we engage and work in things that will develop, they'll build us up, that'll advance us, not things that will corrupt and ruin us like pollution. We need to build everything new. It's not starting new, it's just changing our businesses. We need to invert them. We need to pivot them into forms of connection that everything will operate for the benefit of humanity. And that's something that only a woman can run, that she can lead. A man can't do something like that when he does it. You can see it throughout history that men were able to do something good. They could only compete, and within that competition, some work tools can happen. We can do some stuff in agriculture, and we can do some stuff in connecting, but it's nothing. It's nothing toward our correct development, how we need to flourish and prosper as a society, to have a good life with good education. No. Men are not able to do it. Norma, if so, where does the change start? Does it need to come from the deficiency of the woman that will operate the man? Or will someone else push this? The woman needs to push her deficiency onto the men and the women. She needs to do it in the same way she does it at home, where she obligates the man to operate in favor of the home, and he does it. Norma, but you say that the woman has not really internalized this goal that she has in the new world. How can we educate the new generation so that the women will have these qualities of leadership? Rav, we can develop it, but I don't think we'll succeed at it, because it's not in the nature of women. The nature of women is to run the household and to be part of these different systems is not part of her nature. She takes on the role of a man. She's as if playing a man. That's why it's not her natural role. That's why we need to work together here. in under the leadership of women. Again, I would like to emphasize this point. That's what building society is around, that we're building this mutual home. Whereas in spiritual advancement, we have to listen to men.
¿Cómo entonces la mujer debe tener que, cómo debe procesar este concepto de liderazgo?
Norma,
Usted dice que
if so, how can a woman process this quality? How can she use this quality? How can she use her own nature? Well, her nature is to organize the household, and she can do so for this whole mutual home. The whole world will be as one. That's what a woman can feel. That's in her nature. And we really need this approach of a woman. We really need it in order to build our good world. The woman is Malchut according to the wisdom of Kabbalah. She is the Kli in which all of humanity exists. That's why it's very important that she will stand as the leader of all the operations. The corrections on a man according to the deficiencies of the woman. Norma, there's a few more questions, but I'll try to have one question for conclusion. You say that the woman has this natural quality to lead. Where do we start if she doesn't have it? Rav, she has an understanding of what needs to be. But the force of implementing it is with the men. That's why the Malchut feels the deficiency, but the Zeranpin actually implements it in the wisdom of Kabbalah. And these are the two forces, the men and women, that come to this complete, perfect state. Norma, so the woman has the ability to expand her perception to not only see the benefit of her own family, but to see the benefit of all of humanity. Yes, as one family. If she sees the whole world as one family and she understands that she can't just be in her own personal family, but she has to be as part of the whole world, then she will care for the whole world as her own family, and she will be able to sort things out through the man. No. If so, you can't disconnect one from the other. That's the conclusion, that we need this symbiosis. Rav, the woman decides and the man implements. He executes it. Norma, I am sure that many women have watched this program and agree with you, and are sure that we will build this better future society together. Thank you, everyone. Rav?